American Water Polo.
Hi, this is Damon Newman from American Water Polo, and we're here today to profile the club Northern Illinois Water Polo, NIPC. We're here talking with age group coach Yvonne Munoz about the club. How you doing, Yvonne?
You're all right. How about you, Dan?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, hanging in there. Um, so tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the club, where you guys are located, what age groups you guys generally have.
Perfect. So our club NIPC, we basically start kids as young as 6 years old, and we go and we cover everybody through high school. So we have groups, both high school age group on both women and men's side. Our club is based out of Stevenson High School in Lincolnshire, Illinois. And the way that I came about to the club is actually through Jeff Weimer, the head of our organization. Back as a youngster, as an age grouper, I started playing water polo for him and went through my high school club seasons and so on, and then eventually became one of their coaches, and that's where I stand now.
That's great. That's great. You're giving back to the program that got you where you are. That's great.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we need more people like that. So, if you're out there listening.
We've been very fortunate enough, and then actually, I would say 90% of the people who we currently have as coaching are people who have either played for us or had done some form of community service with us. So we're glad to have them back with us.
Yeah, that's very fortunate. So, what have you been doing lately to keep yourself busy during these times? Like, take me through your day.
So starting with, I am a teacher, so I constantly have to be putting out lessons for my students through remote learning. We're not supposed to call it e-learning anymore. It says remote learning, but in that remote learning, basically, is just putting out lessons. So that takes up the first part of my day. So from around 8 o'clock all the way to about 11 o'clock. Then I host some Zoom meetings with my students, whomever needs a little more help. I help them out through their math process and so on. Then in the afternoons, I try to keep busy with both coaching swimming and water polo. We're hosting some video conferences, both for swimming and water polo. In between, try to get a couple of workouts. I was very fortunate enough that I have a lake nearby that I put my wetsuit, and I got in a couple of times already. But I try to keep myself busy that way. And then to top it all off, try to get some reading. Read some books and other things.
That's excellent. So you mentioned you've been keeping up with some of your athletes. How are they holding up?
So far, every single one of the athletes that we talked, and yes, they do miss the fact that they don't have their routine, that their own routine of going back to practices and so on. But they themselves are busy with their own learning, their own remote learning, as well as they're busy doing other things. However, though, they still, like I said, they're missing that part. We have been able to conference with them through video, and it's been fun to at least see their faces, and they seem to be doing okay. But definitely having us all together as a group, I think, will be the best way to go.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. So have you been giving them workouts? Have you been directing them to different types of sites? I mean, I know that daily I look, and there is just so many resources out there in so many sports. It's almost not even, a lot of things to come by. There's a lot of resources out there for dryland workouts and things like that.
Correct.
What have you been doing for that? Have you been directing them? Have you been creating them yourself, or how's that been?
So it's been basically a combination of a lot of things. Before this whole thing happened, I was able to communicate with the parents through Remind, and I continue using that. I push out workouts that I build both from what we have done before, as well as what other resources like the ones that you spoke to. I know that I've used like Nike's app, as well as 6-8 app, and then so many other apps there, and right, as well as resources that are out there, and try to put it together to fit my group better and something that is important for them. Along with that, sending them my videos, so I had them review one of their previous games and giving me some notes on what they thought were things that we could work on. Eventually, the plan is for us to have guest speakers, like we're going to have a guest speaker today, Matt Farmer, as well as eventually when I compare our own games to games on other fronts, meaning like in California or Philadelphia and so on. If we go on YouTube and compare one quarter with each other and see what differences do we see in our game, and see how we can improve our own game once we get back into the pool.
That's a great idea. Utilizing those resources that are available to you guys. That's you've got to do what you got to do. That's amazing. So What are you looking forward to the most when you can finally get back on that deck and work with your athletes?
The biggest thing that I'm looking forward to, and I would say most of my athletes would agree with, is the fact that our age group since the fall has made tremendous leaps and bounds of growth. And I want to get that growth back to where it was. I mean, of course, we had to rebuild again to a certain extent, but then grow it again, and at least having those kids continue their learning in each one of those skills so that we can actually start competing outside of our area. Our goal as NIPC, at least at the age group level, has been over the last couple of seasons is for us to take ourselves beyond the Chicagoland area. We have focused on this area only at that age group to be just play games within that area. But we would love to go to Philadelphia. We would love to go to, and anywhere that would take us so that we can see new competition. And that's the ultimate goal. And if we can get back into that, the sooner the better. So that's what I'm looking for, so that we can have them experience what NIPC teams have experienced 10, 20 years ago.
Right. That's great. So can you recommend any good books or shows for athletes to watch at kind of during this time or get into, kind of get away from the screen?
Absolutely. Two of my favorite books, and I know they're basketball. There aren't too many water polo books out there, but there's two
basketball. There's so many similarities in basketball. It's just amazing for water.
Oh, for sure. So one of them is Sacred Hoops. It's a great book that I think everybody should read, especially younger athletes, as well as the other ones, Play Their Hearts Out. And I think that one, it's even more oriented towards, I shouldn't say not oriented towards younger kids, but it has a good theme that is something that kids should learn about how you can progress yourself through a career and what kind of things you need to be working, or at least focusing more on, like education, like having yourself grow as an individual rather than focus on making yourself look good in other fronts, especially now with social media, making sure that we are representing ourselves the right way. So that's a great book. I love Playing Their Hearts Out. Is by far one of my favorite books in that arena.
That's great. That's excellent. Well, Ivan, it's been a real pleasure. Ivan Munoz from NIPC Water Polo. We enjoyed learning more about the club team. This is Dan Newman from American Water Polo. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and our website, AmericanWaterPolo.org. And remember, it's important to stay connected to what's important to you.